Hi everybody, welcome to my homestead and welcome to my channel. My name is Jared. I'm sure that you've seen this by now. Iran's president and foreign minister die in helicopter crash at moment of high tensions in Mideast. So that seems a little suspicious, doesn't it? As Israel is in an existential war, it's fighting Iranian proxies, Hamas and Hezbollah and other groups. And also Iran, not too long ago, directly attacked Israel with ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones. So I don't know about you, but I find it a little suspicious that the Iranian president and foreign minister just happened to have an accident, a crash that took their lives. So I want to go through the details of this, but before I do, I want to look at some things that may have led up to this, specifically the phrase head of the snake. So, okay, this is the most recent event that I have on my spreadsheet called Timeline Second Coming, where I just try and keep track of important events. And so I have this, and by the way, just as a side note, it was the same day that the Puebla, Mexico temple was dedicated by Elder Gong. So that's the most recently dedicated temple. That's beside the point. But I just want to point out, okay, so here we have May 19th. And if we go back just 1 month to April 13th, that's when Iran launched its first ever direct military attack on Israel, which happened to be 7 days after General Conference, just like how the October 7th attack happened 7 days after General Conference. So I don't know. It feels like that was actually a long time ago, but it's only been about a month. So maybe the two go together. I don't know, but let's go ahead and move on. So let's go back to October 9th, 2023. That was just 2 days after the October 7th attacks. This is India Today. And there's a bunch of other articles that you can look at, but this was just easy to pull up. It says, "We need to cut the head of the snake." That is Iran. Israeli MP Sharon Haskell. Sharon Haskell, a member of the Israeli parliament from the National Unity Party, has lashed out at Iran, blaming Tehran, Iran's capital, for the current invasion of Israel. And yeah, I think that's right. I think that we still don't know all the details behind what happened. I've always maintained and felt that Hamas didn't actually just do this on their own. I think what's going on right now is a very complicated thing, and there's a lot of things behind the scenes. That's just my view. I think that Iran probably did have knowledge of and maybe even planned this entire thing, and that plan may be being carried out right now. I don't know. But anyway, continuing, speaking to India Today TV on Sunday, Haskell, who was also the former deputy speaker of the Israeli parliament, said, quote, "We need to cut the head of the snake, and that is Iran," adding, "Israel stands united, and we are with the government," end quote. Okay, now I'm sure that this head of the snake terminology wasn't coined after the war started. I'm sure that they used it before, but I think it's become a lot more popular ever since the war began. Now we're going to skip forward to October 21st, 2023, which is just a couple weeks after the attack. This is Daily Mail. "Israel vows to cut off the head of the snake and launch a military attack against Iran if Hezbollah joins the war with Hamas." And so far, it hasn't, or at least there's not a full-scale war with Hezbollah, although they do continue to fire rockets, from what I can tell. But anyway, now this one's really interesting. Okay. Again, let's just remind ourselves that on Sunday, Iran's president and foreign minister mysteriously died in a helicopter crash. In a direct threat to deter Tehran from intervening further, Mr. Barkat warned that not only would Israel eliminate Hezbollah if it believes the terror group is opening up a northern front, but we will actually target Iran. The plan of Iran is to attack Israel on all fronts. If we find they intend to target Israel, we will not just retaliate to those fronts, but we will go to the head of the snake, which is Iran. The Ayatollahs in Iran are not going to sleep good at night. We are going to make sure they pay a heavy price, God forbid, if, God forbid, they open the northern front. Lebanon and Hezbollah are going to pay a heavy price, similar to what Hamas is going to pay, but that's not enough. The very clear message is that, now look, this is key right here, I think. The very clear message is that we are going to be going after the heads of Iran as well. And again, it's not confirmed. No one has said this openly, even though behind closed doors, maybe everybody knows. But we may have just seen that carried out on Sunday. Okay, I say again, the very clear message is that we are going to be going after the heads of Iran as well. When will we do that? When we decide. And it looks like they may have decided May 19th of 2024. Israel has a very clear message to our enemies. We are saying to them, look what's happening in Gaza. You're going to get the same treatment if you attack us. We are going to wipe you off the face of the earth. And yeah, now this is the Ayatollah, I believe. I have the two pictures of this is Khamenei, I believe. Yeah, this is the president, Ibrahim Raisi, and then this is the Ayatollah. Excuse me, the Ayatollah, the one that really has the power in the country. But we'll get to that a little bit more in a minute. Okay, now this is from December 26th, 2023. Gallant, who is the defense minister in Israel, Gallant warns war could take 7 years, says Israel targeted on 7 fronts, has hit back on 6. Now, this is interesting because, we're talking about the number 7, and I personally believe that this is the final war, or at least that it's the very beginning of it. Okay, so Gallant says, we are in a multi-front war. We're being attacked from 7 fronts: Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Judea and Samaria, or in other words, the West Bank, Iraq, Yemen, and Iran. We've already responded and acted on 6 of those fronts. Well, and it looks like maybe on Sunday, now they've acted on the 7th. I have this pulled up on Google Earth so you can visualize it. So you have the Houthis in Yemen down here that are supported by Iran. You have Hamas. You have the groups in the West Bank. You have Hezbollah in Lebanon. The militias supported by Iran in Syria and in Iraq. And then you have Iran itself. So indeed, it does seem like it's a 7-front war. Very, very, very interesting number. Okay, now this is February 23rd of this year. The Jerusalem Post, running out of patience. Iran is giving weapons to Hezbollah. Iran warns UNSC. Okay, Iran is the head of the snake. The foreign minister responded to reports about the letter in a post on X on Friday, writing, quote, Iran is the head of the snake. We will not be patient much longer for a diplomatic solution in the north. If the dramatic intelligence information we revealed to the Security Council does not bring about change, we will not hesitate to act. All right, and then Times of Israel. This is the last one before we start looking at what just happened. Likud minister, Iran attack gives Israel international legitimacy to hit back with unprecedented force. And again, boy, does it seem like it has. I'm going to say that there's... Yeah, I'm going to say there's 100% chance that Israel did this. Okay, this evening's attack against Israel. So again, I'm sure you already know, especially if you've been watching my channel, but there was a day when, so Israel had taken out I can't remember the details now. There's too much to keep on top of, but Israel had attacked an embassy, or at least an embassy annex of Iran. I think it was in Syria. So that's the equivalent of hitting, Iranian soil, because embassies are the soil of whatever country the embassy is representing. And they killed a number of people, but I think at least like 1 or 2 generals. And so Iran responded by attacking Israel directly for the first time. And they sent over a bunch of ballistic missiles, cruise missiles, and drones, supposedly 99% of which were intercepted. And then after that, Israel did attack Iran, but it was very marginal, and I think it was near a like a nuclear facility, and that was basically it. And then it just kind of petered out. But did it? But did it? Okay, so, but this is referencing that attack from Iran on Israel, the direct attack. This evening's attack against Israel gives Jerusalem the right to launch its own strong attack against Iran, states Culture Minister Mickey Zohar. Quote, Israel received broad international legitimacy tonight to strike Iran with unprecedented force. He says in a statement, adding that Iran's extremist regime has taken off its gloves and that Israel must not be lax against the head of the snake, which is working to destroy Israel. Okay, so, I mean, you be the judge. Do you think that Israel did this? Do you think that this was? It just coincidentally happened to be, an accident because of weather or whatever, because of poor visibility or some kind of like technical malfunction in the aircraft. Let me know in the comments below. All we can do is just guess. But okay, so to this, we're going to look at this Associated Press article. Iranian President Ebrahim Raisi, sorry, I don't know how to pronounce it, and the country's foreign minister were found dead Monday, hours after their helicopter crashed in fog, leaving the Islamic Republic without two key leaders as extraordinary tensions grip the wider Middle East. Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has the final say in the Shiite theocracy, quickly named a little-known vice president as caretaker and insisted the government was in control. But the deaths marked yet another blow to a country beset by pressures at home and abroad. Okay, later on, there's some interesting things here. The crash comes as the Israel-Hamas war roils the region. Iran-backed Hamas led the attack that started the conflict, and Hezbollah, also supported by Tehran, has fired rockets at Israel. Last month, Iran launched its own unprecedented drone and missile attack on Israel. A hardliner who formerly led the country's judiciary, Raisi, 63, was viewed as a protege of Khamenei. So, what I didn't know until I prepared this video was this. Let's look at Khamenei. This is Sayed Ali Hosseini Khamenei. He is an Iranian 12er Shia Marja and politician who has served as the second supreme leader in Iran since 1989. He previously served as third president of Iran from 1981 to 1989. So that's interesting. He used to be in this position of this guy that just died, Ebrahim Raisi. So I don't know. It seems like this article is saying that he may have become like one of the next ayatollahs. So that kind of makes it even more like a more dramatic, more important, because I'm sure that not every Iranian president goes on to become an ayatollah, but you can see, like, I remember, for example, what was that guy's name? It was like Ahmadinejad or something like that. He didn't wear like the religious garb like what he's wearing right here. You can see the similarity between the way that he dresses and the way that he dresses. It's like he's like dressing for the part, right? You dress for the job that you want. But according to this article, he was viewed as a protege of him. So this may be a bigger deal than just taking out the president of Iran. Not that that's any small thing. Okay, so continuing, during his tenure, Relations continued to deteriorate with the West as Iran enriched uranium closer than ever to weapons-grade levels and supplied bomb-carrying drones to Russia for its war in Ukraine. His government has also faced years of mass protests over the ailing economy and women's rights, making the moment that much more sensitive. And in my opinion, that all has to do with color revolutions, probably instigated by the West or stoked by the West. I really think that there's this type of warfare, psychological warfare. You take discontents in another country and you help them become even more discontent, and you fan the flames. So, okay, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin said the U.S. continues to monitor the situation surrounding the quote very unfortunate helicopter crash end quote, but has no insight into the cause. Quote, I don't necessarily see any broader regional security impacts at this point in time, he said. So I don't know. I guess we'll see. And he probably knows more than what he can say. And then Fox News, there was just a little bit here, a part that I thought was interesting. Raisi earned the moniker the Butcher of Tehran for his brutal crackdowns on Iranian demonstrators, or in other words, fighting back against color revolutions, including people who participated in the 2022 Women Life Freedom movement to secure justice for the regime's murder of the young Iranian Kurdish woman Mahsa Amini. Later on, Raisi's tenure was marked by three defining features. 1, his expansion of Iran's illicit nuclear weapons program. 2, the missile and drone attack on Israel. And 3, his bloody purge of activists associated with the Women Life Freedom movement. So the way that I see that, these are all military things. You have the nuclear weapons program. I'm no expert, but I'm assuming at some point in the future, given the chance, they will use it. And then, of course, the missile and drone attack, that's definitely military in nature. So definitely two overt military things. And then the third one, more covert and I think psychological, and probably influenced and aided by Western powers, most likely. So anyway, that's all that I have to say. I mean, we'll just have to, only time is going to tell what comes of this. Are we going to see Iran, are they going to blame Israel? I don't know. Probably not, because maybe that would make them appear weak, that they can't even defend their own president and the foreign minister. So maybe they wouldn't admit it. But if they know really that it was Israel behind all this, then I would imagine that they would want to respond. So I don't know. This was probably a big escalation, I would think. This is a major piece. This is not a pawn. It's not a rook. It's not a knight. So we'll just have to see. All right, well, that's it for this one. If you haven't already, please make sure to subscribe, like this video if you liked it. Leave your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. Also, make sure to share it, and I'll talk to you guys later.